Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
You're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 442.
Now you know.
Three Model Y variants are now available for order in Europe with deliveries starting in June.
There's the rear-wheel drive starting at $45,970. That's in euros. The rear-wheel drive long range starts at $50,970. And the all-wheel drive long range starts at $53,970. And here it is in pounds for our UK friends.
Supposedly, some people in Europe are reporting that the launch series is no longer available.
And it also appears that Giga Berlin has eliminated the Midnight Cherry Red paint option.
But you can still get the Ultra Red for an additional £2,600.
Thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this episode.
Depending on where you get your news, topics like Tesla, Elon, and AI can be framed as visionary or reckless.
In our search for tools that help us to dig into the stories that we cover here on Now You Know, we partnered with a platform that completely streamlines our research, Ground News.
Founded by a former NASA engineer, the Ground News app and website uses a data-driven approach to news analysis by taking every perspective, covering a story, and breaking down each source's political bias, credibility, and any financial interests behind the headline.
Like this headline. Elon Musk bashes the $500 billion AI project Trump announced, claiming its backers don't have the money.
We've talked about this for years. Headlines from different sources can be polarizing and sensational.
Ground News ensures access to diverse and maybe even opposing viewpoints so that you can understand the story shaping our world.
Ground News is how we found the full coverage on this story.
With one click, we get a summary of this report based on more than 300 sources the Ground News found reporting on it.
And with just a quick look, we can see the breakdown of news outlets that are covering this story.
You can see, as of today, the bias distribution, a reminder of why it's so important to diversify where we get our news.
One of the features we love most about Ground News is how easy it makes it to identify the reliability of information at a glance. Their factuality ratings let you see which sources are highly factual, the gold standard of journalism, and which ones lean more towards sensationalism.
It's simple to analyze how the different framings of the same story can influence a reader's perception of an issue.
If you're here watching Now You Know, you're already someone who loves digging deeper into stories about Elon, Tesla, and the latest breakthroughs in technology like AI.
That's why we think you'll love Ground News. It's the perfect way to track important developments and even see what you might be missing.
And for a limited time, you can get the same plan we use every day for nearly half the price.
Just go to ground.news/NYK or scan this QR code to save 40% on their unlimited access Vantage plan, or gift it to someone you know and have more informed discussions on your favorite topics.
Ground News helps us stay curious, think critically, and see the bigger picture. We think you'll find it just as valuable. Thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this episode.
All right, so Grok-3 was unveiled last week, and the code name, by the way, was chocolate. So Elon said it was hot chocolate. So this is the first ever model to break the 1400 score here. It appears to be number one across all categories, which is a milestone that keeps getting harder to achieve.
Elon said voice mode is still a bit patchy, so probably launches in about a week, but it's awesome.
And he, just updated it to say that it's out now. So for those Premium Plus members, you can start to talk to Unhinged mode and others. xAI, by the way, was founded 8 years after OpenAI and 13 years after DeepMind.
Yeah, xAI is only 19 months old.
And now they're number one in LLMs. Elon said, all you need to know to understand which company will win a technology competition is look at the first and second derivatives of the rate of innovation. So during the unveiling, Elon showed that Grok-3 was able to combine the games of Tetris and Bejeweled, and in about, 3 minutes, it wrote this, which is a brand new game.
And Andrei Karpathy said, wow, wow, wow.
Elon said, that's a good sign. And now Grok-3 shows it's thinking.
So there's basically two new modes to Grok, and that is deep search and thinking.
Yep.
And with both of them, you can kind of see where it's going. The thinking one, you get to see its thoughts, and it thinks very humanly. It's like, well, I think this, but I'm going to double check. Yeah. Then with that information, I'm going to check this other thing, and then I'm going to move down the list until I come up with an answer that I'm satisfied with.
It's really good because just like if you and I were talking, if you make a wrong turn, I can point it out. I can go like, oh, why are you going there for your information? Or why are you assuming that? And it does make a lot of dumb assumptions sometimes, but a lot of times it catches them. And so when you're in deep search and Grok is working on solving a problem, it shares where it's going to find that information and how it's reasoning. So deep search is a lot like thinking, but it's even a longer process. It's going into a little more research than just thinking is doing. So Elon posted Grok's new logo. And during the Grok-3 unveiling event, Elon and his team talked about how they built the first 100,000 H100 GPU supercomputer. It's a training cluster that they built in Memphis. They built that in 122 days at the old Electrolux factory. And they had to solve problem after problem to get that built on time because many companies that they went to see if they could build it for them said it would take 18 to 24 months. And so they were like, that's not going to work. They took this old Electrolux vacuum cleaner factory, they filled it with the 100,000 GPUs, and then they figured out, well, we got to power those, right? Because the building was only powered for like a few megawatts of power, and they needed hundreds of megawatts of power. So they had to bring in all of these generators. At one point, Elon said they have about a quarter of the US's generators, portable generators, at this site. Then at the other side of the building, they've got water pumps because they had to install water cooling for this. It's just insane. And then they had to bring in Megapacks because they had to level out the power. It was incredible the amount of hardware they had to figure out. They even had to get into the BIOS of the Megapacks to make sure that that would be stable. Just absolutely incredible. Then after all that, they talked about how they installed the next 100,000 GPUs in just 92 days.
Jay Kim says the new training cluster will require 1.21 gigawatts of power. I'm sorry, gigawatts of power to operate, just like the DeLorean in Back to the Future.
And Elon said, as foretold in the prophecy.
1.21 gigawatts!
So does that mean that Grok 4 is going to be able to go back in time?
Yeah, maybe, because Grok 3 was trained on 115,000 GPUs, but it's possible that the next Grok version will be trained on 200, 300, 400,000, maybe even a million, because that's what they aim to install at Memphis. Elon said Warren Buffett has $1 billion bet. If you can perfectly predict the entire March Madness bracket, you win $1 billion. Would be pretty cool if AI could help you win $1 billion from Buffett. So yeah.
Is that like a wink wink kind of thing?
Maybe. I haven't tried it yet, but if you do, comment down below and then we'll see how accurate it was. Now, Grok-3 is free to use at grok.com. You can use about 20 queries every 2 hours, or you can get the full version with X Premium Plus, which is now bumped up to $40 a month.
Whoa, it doubled in price?
Yeah, it used to be $16 a month, or you can get Grok-3 standalone for $30 a month.
Elon says further progress is expected this week. Grok will improve almost every day.
And I think that's true because I've been watching it just improve all day long. Shibatoshi Nakamoto said, I had Grok code me an asteroids clone. The prompt was, make me an asteroids clone in JavaScript. I'm such a good software engineer. And Elon said, cool.
Shibatoshi went on to say people were saying that the Grok-3 AI-made asteroids clone was lame because it didn't have the asteroids break into smaller asteroids and there was no score. So I had Grok add those features by asking it to. The whole process took like 5 minutes. We are all software engineers now.
And Elon said, it's that easy. Elon went on to say, it can get way more crazy. Try asking Grok to add more features like making the asteroids turn into Mario turtles when shot, combine Donkey Kong and asteroids, etc. Pretty soon, it just won't get any answers wrong. You can now download Grok as its own dedicated app. Grok will also be offered as a standalone applications for the Mac OS and Windows. And by the way, Grok now can generate even more amazing images in seconds. Check these out.
Oh, and it looks like someone improved upon Shibatoshi's asteroids game. Dan said Grok-3 is insanely good. I present to you X the game. Defeat the mainstream media.
XAI posted, this is it, the world's smartest AI, Grok-3, now available for free until our servers melt.
Elon said for a short time, Grok-3 is available for free to all.
Grok has real-time knowledge, big difference. Yeah, and this is a point I think a lot of people don't realize. You can put pretty much all the internet onto a USB stick and then train your model on it. But that means that after you've trained it, it doesn't have the latest information. So Grok is continually going through X, which it can scrape, and a lot of other sites, and getting the latest information, which is really, really valuable.
So you can ask it about breaking news, and it will, it'll know basically what everyone else knows.
And what's really cool on X is you can see the smart people who are using it. I mean, for instance, Dr. David Sinclair, he works at Harvard and does amazing research on aging. He said, just use it to solve a key scientific problem. It is the smartest.
And Elon says Grok is number one. Our incredible voice mode is what will sustain the lead.
Elon said, wow, when someone posted a new game that was just made with Grok. I mean, new games are popping up all over the place, which is really cool.
They're not all just two-dimensional, arcadey looking games. People have actually been making 3D games that look more modern than your typical like asteroids, which is really cool because I think that for a lot of people, when you see like asteroids, you're like, oh, okay, I can do simple programming. But yeah, people are actually making it program fully fledged looking games. And I think that this is crazy because these are people who normally would not have gotten that far in any remotely that amount of time.
We've been programming it for the past few weeks, and it is amazing.
To give you an idea of how Grok-3 is actually changing work as we know it,
as we speak,
here is a member of the Now You Know team, Thomas. He is here to explain how he started using Grok-3 this week.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. This is Thomas, your video editor, coming to you here from Salzburg, Austria. And I wanted to tell you and the viewers about this cool experience I had the other day with Grok-3, which just came out. So to just give a little backstory, every week for Tesla Time News, it's one of my jobs basically to create a folder structure and naming all the folders, getting all the pictures from your shooting script and putting those pictures in all those folders. And I had already used AI to write some batch scripts that basically automate some of those steps. But no AI like ChatGPT or Llama, which I used in the past, had ever been able to help me automate that step of taking all those about 200 pictures and putting them all in the right folders. But now I gave it another try using Grok-3. And yeah, the result was pretty cool. So I sent Grok-3 the existing batch script and it analyzed that, immediately, of course, recognized what it does, and then it asked me what I wanted to modify, and it gave me a first version. I tested that. It didn't quite work, and so I gave the AI programmer basically my feedback, and after a few times of going back and forth like that, Grok-3 managed to finally do this thing that no other AI had been able to do for me before. I could just feel and notice the difference in Grok-3 in not only how it understands what you want and how it takes in your feedback. You can't tell that you're not talking to a human on the other end, except for the fact that it's much faster, obviously. It's more intelligent than most humans would be. It never gets impatient. I love working with those things, and it would be great for a lot of people to look more into that and to realize what a great help these AIs can already be. I hope you get a chance to try it for yourself soon. And that was it from me. Now you know.
Wow. Whoa. Thomas was able to use Grok-3 to speed up and simplify some of his tasks that make this show possible.
So thank you for sharing that with us, Thomas.
You're welcome.
We've talked about this before. Learning how to prompt AI and learning how AIs can help you become quicker and more efficient is likely to become one of the most important skills over the next few years.
I know Kung Fu.
We urge everyone to try Grok-3 this week at grok.com. It's free to try it out.
Share with us what you do with it and send us a video contributor story to hello@nowyouknowchannel.com telling us what you figured out. So if you're trying to keep up with Elon's companies, here are their latest logos.
From left to right, that's XAI, the AI company, Neuralink, the brain interface company.
We've got X, the social media news app company.
Tesla, the EV and robotaxi, energy and humanoid robot company.
Grok-3, that XAI built.
That white circle is the Boring Company, which is they do the electric tunneling.
And lastly, but not leastly, is SpaceX, the rocket company.
We'll always be good company.
So Lars Moravi, Tesla's VP of Engineering, has announced that Tesla will be launching a refreshed Model S and X later this year. Lars said, just give it a minute, we'll get there. The upgrade a few years ago was bigger than most people thought in terms of architecture and structure. We'll give it some love later this year. Everyone here has a little place in their heart for S and X. They are not going anywhere anytime soon. So the last refresh for S and X was 2021.
Okay. And so when it wasn't much of a refresh.
Well, they put the screen horizontal and, it was
but from the outside, it doesn't look vastly different. So is this new one going to have like the front light bar thing?
Oh, I think most def.
Okay.
Will they have 48-volt architecture, though?
And will they have steer-by-wire? Will they have new AI hardware like Hardware 5?
That's a really good question, right? Because it might be available by then. Comment below what you think.
And what do you think this is going to do to SNX sales this many months out?
Yeah, I feel like Lars might have incurred the Osborne effect, because if you were thinking of getting an S or X in the next couple months, you're just going to push it off.
Right. Maybe Tesla wasn't expecting to see that many S and X sales because of economic conditions, but they hope that they're going to improve in the future.
Maybe. I don't know. Let us know what you think. So how would you like a Tesla Megapack? Get this, Jesse. for $120.
What? Are they having some kind of sale or something? Is this like for used Megapacks?
Come on down to Elon's used Megapack slot, where you can save a lot of money on a used Megapack. No, that would be cool though, if you could get 3.9 megawatt hours of batteries for $120. But what I'm talking about is this.
That looks like a Megapack.
No, look a little closer.
Wait, is that a Megapack being charged by a giant USB-C cable? I don't get it.
Well, look a little closer.
There's something weird going on here.
Well, this picture should help.
Oh, wait, it's a miniature.
Yeah, here it is with a drink mug for scale. It's for sale on Tesla's website. Well, it was for sale for about 2 seconds before it went out of stock.
But it's an actual battery, though.
Yeah, it's a 1/40th scale, 21,000 milliamp hour or 76 watt hour battery with one USB-A and two USB-C charging ports with a total of 108 watt output using all three cables and maximum 100 watt charging input for $120.
So I wonder how many like 2170s are in there.
Oh, you're wondering about like how many actual batteries are in the Megapack. Well, I cheated and I asked Grok-3 and it actually came up with what I think is the right answer. 4 2170 cells in 2S 2P configuration.
So comment down below for what you think it is. I mean, maybe they didn't use 2170s. Maybe it's 18650s.
I don't think you could shove a 4680 in there, but
no. It'd be sad if it was pouch batteries. They should use the same batteries that are in the Megapack.
I bet they do.
I feel very strongly about it.
I just don't know why every cool thing they put on their website is sold out within seconds.
It's like they're like, well, we don't need to make that many.
Everyone's going to want
Surely no one will want this. I think it's to make the demand really high.
Oh.
This is like it's like they're a very exclusive brand. It's like Supreme or whatever. And people
I think that as part of the referral program, maybe they should make these things available to people who use the code or something. Like,
I mean, it does seem like if you had as many of these as people wanted bumping around in the world, then at some point, I mean, I know that most people aren't going to be like, is that a Megapack? And also, most people aren't going to be like, what is that? And you'll be like, it's a small Megapack. And they'll be like, I'm going to buy a Megapack.
It's just, I don't know, it's cool. Plus, you can't even get most of their apparel.
No, it's true. You can't even buy like a Tesla t-shirt. Most of them are out of stock.
Yeah, there's literally like 3 things available on the website. And it's been that way forever.
I know.
So Tesla Asia posted, production of the new Model Y has officially started at Gigafactory Shanghai. Deliveries coming soon. That's cool. Same thing's happening at Giga Berlin this week. So it's just like they're ramping out that Y and everybody wants one. So since Elon has faced multiple death threats due to his work with Doge, the U.S. Marshal Service has deputized members of Elon Musk's private security detail.
That badge means something.
So now his security has certain rights that federal law enforcement agents have.
All right, what does that mean? What are the special rights that they have?
So they can be armed in federal buildings, they can use deadly force, and they can arrest people that violate the law.
There'll be no mollycoddling.
Oh, I mean, it seems like it makes sense. I mean, he's going to be in a lot of federal buildings.
Yes, and he's going to be surrounded by people who want to kill him.
Nip it in the bud. You get that?
Now that Elon has announced that Tesla will be starting the robotaxi network in Austin, Texas this June, there's been a lot of speculation as to whether Tesla will work with another company like Uber or Lyft that has developed rideshare software.
But it appears that will not happen. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi told Bloomberg TV that it could make, quote, a lot of economic sense for Tesla and Uber to work together. And he went on to say, what we bring is demand to the AV ecosystem when demand often is quite variable. I've had conversations with him, Elon, at this point. They want to build it alone. So to some extent in Austin, we and Waymo will be competing with Tesla when they launch. Life is long, but we would love to partner with them. Yeah, you would, because if you don't partner with them, you're going to lose.
I love the to some extent we're competing. It's like, yeah, to the extent that you're going to be put out of business, to the extent that Blockbuster and Netflix were competing, to the extent that the Pony Express and the internet were competing. I mean, you're gonna be gone.
You are out of here.
So as Oregon's Fox 12 TV station reported, the Tesla showroom on Mission Street in Salem, Oregon was shot at last Wednesday morning.
Many windows were broken, as you can see here.
And some of those windows are now boarded up.
This Tesla store also had a Tesla car burned a couple of weeks ago.
Salem police say no arrests have been made yet and that this is an active investigation being made alongside the FBI, which is now assisting.
That's why they put the I in FBI.
So I hope they catch the person. It feels like it'd be pretty easy. I bet there's security cameras. You pull up, you shoot the windows and you drive off.
Right. Not the perfect crime, really.
No. All right, it's time for the Cybertruck Roundup.
Yeehaw! The Cybertruck Roundup.
So Molly Ploufkins posted, seen today in Lower Manhattan.
Gregor Truck says, your critics want you to be as unhappy, unfulfilled, and unimportant as they are. Let your happiness eat them up from inside. And that is a quote from Ricky Gervais.
Tesla posted, Cybertruck earns 5-star overall safety ratings from NHTSA.
Elon said, Cybertruck is apocalypse level safe.
Yeah, so Cybertruck has the lowest probability of injury and the lowest probability of rollover of any pickup truck on the market. Wes Morrill, one of Tesla's lead engineers, says all the armchair experts claim the Cybertruck has no crumple zone. And I get it. The proportions seem impossible. It was a tough one, and there is a lot of engineering that went into it. Let me break it down for you. Here you can see the large single-piece casting in action in a high-energy crash. The plot is showing the impulse y-axis over time, x-axis, and we see a nice linear progression with no large spikes. The bumper beam is crushed in the first few milliseconds, and the vehicle senses and determines what type of crash is happening and how to best deploy the restraints, airbags, and seatbelt pretensioners. As the crush continues, bending the steel of the drive unit cradle to move the drive unit down and out of the way. This enables the casting to progressively crush cell by cell with a nearly linear crush energy, slowing down the vehicle smoothly and over a long period of time, which reduces the acceleration transfer to the occupants. During this time, and in concert with the structural absorption, the restraints are deployed, which further reduce the acceleration of the occupants, reducing probability of injury. Amazingly, you can see the accuracy of the virtual analysis compared side by side to an actual physical test. Getting these modeling details accurate expedites design iteration for all the various different crash cases to converge on the optimal geometry. And Wes went on to say, the castings are actually repairable after a collision. The crush rail section can be cut off and a new cast crush rail section installed in its place. Of course, at some point, it'll be damaged beyond repair, as with any vehicle. And if we go to NHTSA's NCAP report and dive into the weeds a bit, check out the 35-mile-an-hour full frontal rigid barrier impact test results.
So what we're looking at here is there's a threshold and there's a result.
Right.
So look how much lower than the threshold for injury the results were for both the driver and the passenger. So what is ATD?
That stands for anthropomorphic test devices, basically crash test dummies.
Okay, but what do these numbers mean?
The first one, HIC 15, stands for head injury criteria, and it assesses the likelihood of head injury based on the acceleration of the test dummy's head during the crash. So the results for many vehicles range between 200 and 500. So these are really good numbers. Very low risk of head injury for both the driver and the passenger. The chest compression number here shows how much the chest was compressed. In this case, 23 millimeters for the driver, 20 millimeters for the passenger, well below the threshold for injury. NIJ is neck injury criteria, and again, well below the threshold for a neck injury. The rest, neck tension, neck compression, leg femur forces, are all measured in newtons and are well below the threshold force that would injure your neck or thighs.
So have any pickup trucks scored poorly?
Well, the 2023 Ram 1500 and the Toyota Tundra both got just 4 stars in the frontal crash tests. The Ram scoring an HIC 15 value of about 500 to 600, and the Tundra got values of about 550 to 650. Remember, the threshold 700.
So a lot closer to that threshold means you're more likely to get injured, especially with your head, if you're in a Ram or a Tundra.
Yeah, and here's what I don't like about NHTSA. They do the star system. Okay, fine, I understand it's easy to read. But then they put out a 45-page report with all these charts and stuff that don't make any sense unless you do your research or ask Grok. And therefore, you go like, oh, 4 stars. That's pretty good. But like a way better chance that you're going to get hurt in those pickup trucks in some of these crashes.
Because, I mean, if we look at those numbers, they are pretty astonishingly low.
Oh, they're so far from the threshold. Yeah. It's just very low chance that you're going to get hurt.
And way lower than their competition.
Exactly. And yet you go, whoa, but they're all kind of 4 and 5 stars. It really makes a difference getting into the weeds on this stuff.
Right. I mean, 5-star crash safety ratings go from like pretty good to Tesla level, which is wow.
I saw a lot of engineers that were saying if you actually assign the right number of stars, that the Cybertruck would get 7. So just think about that.
Right. This is the biggest problem that I have with NHTSA. I mean, I'm glad that they put out the report so that like super intelligent brainiacs who have all the time in the world can peruse through all the data. But at the end of the day, people are going to be like, how many stars does it have? I have a busy life and I need a car. And so, oh, it's got 4? That sounds pretty good. And it's like, it's nowhere close. It's not a linear scale, which doesn't line up with how people think. And that's the thing that I don't like about NHTSA, is that, yes, this should have a 7-star crash safety rating.
And if we go to Abu Dhabi, we've got the Unplugged Performance Invincible Cybertruck.
What makes it so invincible?
I don't know. Rocket launchers?
I mean, as we just talked about, Cybertruck is already pretty invincible.
It's not common, but at some supercharger locations, have you ever encountered a line waiting to charge?
Yeah, a couple times. Usually everyone is pretty courteous and things move pretty smoothly. But during the holidays or at heavy congestion locations, sometimes some people can get, let's call it, rude.
Well, Tesla has confirmed that they are rolling out a new feature that could help improve this problem. It's called virtual queuing.
Oh, I see. Because Tesla knows when everyone arrived at a supercharger location, so they can assign everyone in order.
Well, I was here after this guy.
Yeah, Tesla Charging said virtual queuing pilots starting in Q2 at select sites. Goal is a net customer experience improvement for the about 1% cases of a wait time. Wider rollout this year if feedback is positive. We also continue to expand the network 20% plus year over year, closely tracking site level demand.
So I guess the biggest question is, how is this going to work? I mean, obviously you have the Tesla, and the Tesla has a nice big screen, because sometimes when I pull into a supercharger, it's like, hey, your battery was cold. You'd charge faster if your battery is warmer.
Right.
You should have told me earlier and I would have preconditioned. I mean,
so maybe it'll just pop up and say you are, number 3 in line or something.
I think so. And then hopefully it goes like, bing, like, go charge.
Right.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Anyway, I looked all over the internet. I couldn't find anyone who's experienced this yet because I don't think it's rolled out. But as soon as you do, or if you have, please comment down below. We'd love to figure out like how this is going to work and if it really helps.
Yeah.
Bob, my earpiece is telling me that Reuters is reporting that Tesla has recalled 380,000 vehicles in the U.S. over power steering assist issues.
My earpiece is telling me to say that the problem with Teslas is that they're always breaking down, Bob.
My earpiece is saying not to tell everyone that Tesla has already released an over-the-air software update to fix the issue.
Well, Bob, my earpiece just told me to kick you under the desk because you aren't supposed to say that part out loud.
Seriously, though, wasn't this fixed back in October of last year?
Yes, but NHTSA finally got around to making the recall official on February 21st. So, Reuters decided to squeeze a little bit more FUD out of it.
Make it a little fuddier there. Yeah, that's it. So yes, according to NHTSA, there is a printed circuit board for the electronic power steering assist in Teslas that may experience an overstress condition, which could cause a loss of power steering assist when the vehicle reaches a stop and then accelerates again.
So this potential problem impacted 376,000 2023 Model 3 and Y vehicles with operating software prior to 2023.38.4.
Tesla had received 3,012 warranty claims about the issue, and there have been no accidents or injuries due to the problem.
Tesla sent an over-the-air software fix to these vehicles, and it's fixed.
Yeah, and I'd just like to mention, we've had like over half a dozen recalls for each of our non-Tesla EVs, and we didn't see any headlines about it.
Right. We got several on the Ford, several on the Rivian, and we had to bring them in for most of them.
Yep.
Many of them were not a simple over-the-air software update fix.
A lot of them would brick the vehicle if you didn't get it fixed.
Right.
So, and again, no headlines that I remember.
And some of them were so, because sometimes recalls, it's like, okay, it would be, next time you bring it in.
Right.
But we had Rivian hounding us over one of the problems because it would absolutely brick the car if we didn't get it fixed.
Yeah.
And it's like, we weren't driving it that much, so we were like, I don't know, we don't really want to take care of it right now. I don't want to drive it all the way to Chelsea.
No, we still have a new recall that we're supposed to bring it in for.
Great.
Romain Hedwin, software engineer at Tesla, posted this on Sunday at the Droneport Airport in Sint-Truiden, Belgium.
It's officially a new world record, 1,150 Teslas dancing together. Here is what the biggest car light show in history looks like.
Yeah, and if you're wondering how big this is, it took 45 minutes just to get all the Teslas off the airfield after the light show.
What was the previous record?
Previous record was in Finland in 2023. We reported on it. It was the 687 Teslas that did a light show.
Wow. So this is double the size.
Yeah.
And this was part of the drone light show at this amazing event.
Congratulations to everyone who took part.
And of course, our buddy Will was there from Tesla Jigsaw.
Super big congratulations to Simon Pollock, who basically put this whole thing together. Simon says it took him about 120 hours of configuration to pull this off.
And so we have the Junipers and the Cybertrucks all out front.
Looks like it was amazing. I don't know how you pulled this off, because just getting that many people to show up to do anything would be amazing. But then to get them all lined up perfectly, that's amazing. It's just wow to see this. Awesome. Tesla Charging posted, supercharging keeps getting faster with smarter trip planning, a denser network, faster charging, preconditioning, vehicle efficiency improvements, AC ripple current, and more. We're chipping away at every second to get you back on the road faster.
Chip away.
So in this chart from 2017 through today, it looks like the average supercharging time dropped from the average of about 35 minutes in 2017 to an average of 27 minutes in 2025.
That is a savings of 8 minutes or 23% faster. Now you can see that it looks like supercharge times peak during the holiday season. That makes sense when families go for longer road trips to visit families.
And also when it's colder and those batteries might not be accepting as much charge.
Yeah.
So it's always important to precondition your battery because that's going to get you back on the road faster.
So true. Dima Zuniak posted, Elon Musk's XAI is going to start an AI game studio to make games.
And Elon said yes.
Elon said, join us to make revolutionary video games using AI. The potential for a dynamically generated video game using AI is incredible.
And XAI said, email us at gamestudio@x.ai if you're a developer and interested in designing AI games first principles.
Elon went on to say, Blastar, which was the game that he made when he was a kid, was about defending Earth against aliens. Maybe that would be a good game to start with, XAI. Start with a crushing defeat of Earth and work your way up from there to taking the alien homeworld.
He went on to say you can improve the graphics just by asking Grok to do so, by the way. We're starting to work on integrating dynamically created high-resolution graphics so that you can make photorealistic games that evolve differently for every player. Join the XAI team.
And he finished by saying, now it's just a matter of scaling up the graphics resolution for Grok to do better than AAA games. Grok-3 is already capable of vastly better NPC dialogue. Now that would be cool if you got to speak to a dynamically AI NPCs in your game.
I've seen people who mod their games to be able to like have a conversation with you, and it is very funny. But I think that this is a really strong recruiting thing for XAI because now not only does he already have pretty much the best AI people in the world, but now he might be getting a couple of game developers on board. You start to release a couple really cool and enthralling games that use AI to create a world for you.
That's a whole other revenue stream, and it's probably really good sim dialogue. Gloop-de-glop-de-gloop. So we reported recently how Nissan and Honda were in talks for a $58 billion merger in order to stay solvent.
And why are they doing that?
Because they didn't believe EVs were the future.
Oh, brother!
I know. Nissan made one of the first commercial EVs, right? The Nissan Leaf. But let's be honest here. The Leaf isn't a serious contender on the field of EVs anymore.
Well, the talks between Honda and Nissan broke down. And now, according to Financial Times, Nissan, which is struggling financially, is planning on approaching Tesla to see if Tesla will buy one of Nissan's U.S. factories.
Elon kind of put the kibosh on that, saying the Tesla factory is the product. The Cybercab production line is like nothing else in the automotive industry.
So is that all Nissan wants, is for somebody to buy one of their U.S. factories?
No, I think Nissan is trying to find a strategic partner so that they can actually stay alive without becoming a subsidiary. But just like Chrysler, Dodge, and Fiat had to merge into FCA to stay alive, and then FCA and PSA Group had to merge into Stellantis to stay alive.
And Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi formed a strategic alliance back in 1999 to try and stay alive.
Which isn't working. Nissan is in serious trouble.
But wouldn't a cheap factory be a good buy for Tesla?
Well, if you remember, Tesla started back in 2010 by purchasing their Fremont factory for pennies on the dollar, just $42 million from another auto partnership that didn't work out, NUMMI, the New United Motor Manufacturing Incorporated, which was GM and Toyota's failed partnership. But this is today, and that was 15 years ago when Tesla was just starting out. Today, as Elon said, Tesla is about the machine that makes the machine. Tesla would have to spend a lot of money ripping everything out of those Nissan plants and renovating because Tesla Gigafactories are specifically made for vertical integration, real mass production. So, short answer, no.
We don't want your stupid factories because they're dumb and bad.
All right, it's time for some SpaceX news. Kiko Donichev, which is SpaceX's VP of launch, said Falcon 9 is vertical on the pad and the drone ship is in position in the Exuma Sound, tracking no issues or constraints at this time to launch Starlink 1012 this evening. Their launch is special as it will be the first time a rocket launches from one country and lands in another, one step closer to making spaceflight aircraft-like.
SpaceX posted today's mission is the first time Falcon 9 will land on a drone ship off the coast of the Bahamas.
And Elon said this is the first time that a rocket has taken off from one country, gone to space, and landed in another country, asterisk, in one piece. And SpaceX posted Falcon 9 aboard the Just Read the Instructions drone ship after successfully completing our first international landing off the coast of the Bahamas. And here's some video from John at J. Concilius of Falcon 9 booster, the B-1080, returning from the Bahamas back to Port Canaveral on drone ship Just Read the Instructions. That's kind of amazing to see a rocket on a drone ship. It still catches my breath.
I would love to send that picture back in time to say like 2002 and the people would be like, that's a weird smokestack. And it's like, nope, that's a rocket, my friend.
SpaceX posted Falcon 9 completes its 450th mission.
The Latvian airline Air Baltic has become the first European airline to offer free high-speed internet aboard their flights.
And of course, they use Starlink. And can you guess two things here, Jesse? You're always making me guess places,
okay.
Right? So guess this. What's being delivered on the back of the scooter, and where is the scooter?
I'm going to guess that it's Starlink because we're in SpaceX
Very
news
good.
and those don't look like rocket parts.
Very good. It's not pizza.
I'm going to guess it's in Indonesia. No, it's too dusty. Africa?
Indonesia's not dusty? Africa, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Starlink 4s and minis, not large and small pizzas, delivered in the Central African Republic, where I'm hearing there's actually really high demand. And I don't think it comes as much of a surprise to anyone that the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, has dropped its lawsuit against SpaceX. Elon responded, the Biden administration launched a massive multi-year lawsuit against SpaceX for not hiring asylum seekers, despite the fact that SpaceX is legally barred from hiring non-permanent residents under ITAR because rockets are an advanced weapons technology. In other words, it was both illegal to hire asylum seekers and illegal not to hire asylum seekers, an insane case of lawfare against SpaceX.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
And what is this?
Is that the tower at Starbase?
Yep, they're testing out the chopsticks in preparation for possibly Friday's launch of Starship Flight 8 with Booster 15. Thank you for the video by NSF, NASA Spaceflight, for the awesome video. Make sure to follow them, by the way, on X for their awesome space content. And yeah, according to the latest FAA advisory, Starship Flight 8 could launch as soon as tomorrow, but that's not going to happen because Elon posted,
Starship Flight 8 flies Friday.
Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but SpaceX has filed and gotten permission for Starship to return to the launch site for a potential catch as well. So obviously things can go wrong, but they could catch both Super Heavy and Starship for the first time.
So the booster and Starship would go up. The booster would disconnect. It would do a boost back burn. It would come back
Within like 10 minutes,
get
right?
caught by the thing.
Starship would go around.
The whole Earth,
Right.
come back, belly flop in, and then
Potentially get caught by Megazilla. That I'm not saying will happen, but that is a partial plan.
wow.
So stay tuned Friday. All right, it's time for Into the Future, sponsored by our friends at Henson Shaving.
Get the best razor on earth. Do yourself a favor. If you didn't get one for
and
Valentine's Day, you can get
Can I just say,
one.
we get a lot of people who email us about this razor. They're like, thank you for telling me about this because it saved my face. And I just there's hardly any other product I can think of where people just continually tell us how lucky they are to get it. So that's why we keep telling you about it. It's a wonderful, sustainable product.
Make sure to use our code NOWYOUKNOW at checkout, and you will get a box of 100 blades for free.
Escape into the future.
So in XAI news, XAI is working with the German company Referral to install an $80 million wastewater treatment plant at their 13-acre Memphis, Tennessee Colossus supercomputer.
This will become the world's largest ceramic membrane bioreactor, which will allow XAI to recycle 49 million liters, or 13 million gallons, of water every day. That's all the water needed to cool Colossus's 200,000 H100 GPUs.
Mark Carroll, which is XAI's wastewater engineer, he's leading the design and construction of the recycling plant, said this partnership enables us to set new benchmarks in both technology and water efficiency, ensuring vital cooling water supply for our high-performance computing systems with no impact on local potable water supplies. So all that FUD about, they're going to ruin the water and dump dirty water. No, they're not. They're going to recycle it. And XAI is building a data center with X in Atlanta, Georgia, here at the 150,000 square foot QTS facility.
Local officials have been negotiating with X for about a year now.
Both parties finalized a 10-year agreement right after Christmas that grants X and XAI a property tax discount worth about $10 million.
XAI and X should be installing about $700 million worth of equipment, including over 12,000 NVIDIA H100 and A100 GPUs.
So it's time for Going Green, sponsored by our friends at Climatize.
Climatize is a way for individuals to have access to solar energy projects that are raising funds.
Climatize just hit the $7 million investment milestone with $1.7 million returned to investors.
Their platform is super easy to use. You simply go to climatize.earth/NYK, set up an account. If you choose to invest, you can do so with as little as $10. There are no investor fees, but we suggest you check Climatize compensation disclosures. The opportunity is open for all U.S. bank account holders over the age of 18. You don't need to be accredited or anything special.
You can look through their investment offerings, choose a project you'd like to support. Investment offerings on their platform have the ability to pay up to 10% annual target returns.
Yeah, you heard that right. You can potentially earn up to a 10% annual return, and you're investing your money into solar projects across the U.S.
Beyond solar energy projects, Climatize is now offering investors opportunities to fund both energy efficiency projects in the form of heat pump upgrades for buildings and EV charging station projects across the U.S.
Thanks to Climatize for sponsoring the show. Visit climatize.earth/NYK or download the app and use the code NYK025 for $25 free credit once you complete the onboarding process. So today in Going Green, we thought we would talk about saving some green. Doge is working with the U.S. General Services Administration. They sold this building in Washington, D.C. This is the historic Webster School building for $4.1 million.
Yeah, the U.S. government acquired this building in 2003 when it was condemned, and we, the U.S. taxpayers, have spent $24 million in deferred maintenance and liabilities since then.
So Doge said, hey, why are we wasting money on a condemned building?
Now the site can be put to use, so we are no longer wasting millions of dollars for no reason, and we even get $4.1 million for selling it.
Thank you, chainsaw of bureaucracy.
Chainsaw! All right, it's time for Sunspots. So on February 14th, the Chinese company BYD Energy Storage signed contracts with Saudi electricity company for the world's largest grid-scale battery storage projects, totaling 12.5 gigawatt hours.
Wow, that's big.
Bringing their collaboration to 15.1 gigawatt hours because they've already built like 2.5 gigawatts.
The projects will be installed across 5 sites in Saudi Arabia to enhance Saudi Arabia's power grid stability, support peak demand, and drive energy transformation.
BYD has delivered 75 gigawatt hours of battery electric storage systems globally so far. Like when I first read that number, I'm like, that's got to be a typo. That's amazing. Yeah, BYD's a huge battery company.
Elon said, essentially, all energy will be solar long term.
And if you'd like to be solar long term or get batteries in your house, talk to our friends at EnergyPal because I know you've got questions and they've got answers. Link is down below. Let them know that Zach and Jesse sent you. All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. And remember, we need your stories. Send them to us 2 minutes or less. Shoot them in landscape with good audio and no music and send them to hello@nowyouknowchannel.com. Now, video contributor stories this week are sponsored by Olivium.
Ooh, is that the fancy hot sauce that we've been enjoying the past couple weeks?
Yes, it is. The owner, Lee, is a longtime viewer of the show, and he reached out to us about his premium hot sauce. Now, I'm not usually a hot sauce kind of guy, but I got to say, I've been using it on a bunch of meals, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming. It's got a fantastic flavor and enhances so many dishes. Order a bottle today using our link to save even more and help support the show.
It makes a great gift, too, and Lee is offering 30% off to our viewers, so go use our link now you know, and I think you're going to thank us. All right, what do we got this week?
So you may remember our friend Peter from Off-Road Electric.
Oh, right. Peter's here again with an update on his amazing project.
Hey Zach and Jesse and everybody else, I'm Peter from Off-Road Electric and we are building a 2-motor extreme off-road monster truck from 2 Tatras and 2 Teslas. I was here a while ago when we were dismantling 2 Tatras, and since then we made a huge progress. And now we are assembling the monster truck. We have dramatically changed the style of the videos, so if you haven't seen us yet, you must check out the videos 58 and newer especially. And because you're almost done with the front of the truck, next time you will see me first time working on the back of the truck. So we can put the beast on 4 wheels soon. And that would bring us closer to join the truck trail competitions. These competitions are in the Czech Republic and surrounding countries all year round, and this beast will be superior on so many levels. If you like this video, go to our channel Off-Road Electric, and thank you Zach and Jesse for sharing our project. See you next time, and now you know.
Thanks, Peter. Amazing progress and awesome editing.
Yeah, Peter's video editor, Libor, is an editor on our team as well. So make sure you subscribe to Peter at Off-Road Electric to follow his project and to see how he fares in the upcoming competitions.
So he's going to put some gas-powered trucks to shame.
Oh, yeah. I bet he is.
I'm excited.
All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. Remember, if you want to support us on Patreon and the work that we do, it's just $1 a month for all of the amazing Patreon bonus stories you can now go see at patreon.com/nowyouknow. We'll see you there. All right, we're back from our Patreon bonus stories. It's time for the poll, and our patrons were asked, will Tesla launch their robotaxi network in Austin this June with Cybercabs or Model Ys?
And of course, if Model Ys, then it could be other Tesla models as well.
All right, so what did they say?
Pretty split. We got 42% that say Cybercabs and 39% that say both.
Oh, and only 19% that said Model Ys or just other Teslas. Interesting. I'm going to go with, just because I hope it's true, Cybercabs. But, of course, I think it'll probably be both. All right, it's time for Elon's X's of the week.
A lot of people very mad at us. They're very surprised that Zach and I are fans of Elon Musk. Pretty strange. They're like, Zach and Jesse, I can't believe you're such fans of Elon Musk. Well, we've been fans of Elon Musk for about 10 years now, maybe 11. I mean, before we even started this show, we were pretty excited about the things that he was doing. Now, the things he was doing back then were a little bit smaller, on the smaller
SpaceX
scale.
was big.
Sure. But I mean, it was like an idea. It wasn't,
I see.
But we've been fans this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We've continued to be fans of Elon this whole time. And we do X's of the Week because we've been doing X's of the Week for years now.
Mm-hmm.
We've been covering what Elon has been talking about for years. And I think that a lot of people just don't really get it. Because we got like a comment last week from Dante Denardis, 1385 last week. And he's upset. He goes, I was wondering, where are all of the Elon Musk cancer centers? Where are all of the Elon Musk hospital wings? He has so many different questions. So I just wanted to take a minute, go through some of his questions because, I'm here to answer questions. We're a YouTube channel. We have lots of information. We've been covering Elon Musk for so long. And I get it. You have basically been lied to. You've been told that Elon Musk is such a jerk.
Well, what's interesting about Elon, unlike other billionaires who have big press departments, Elon does nice things for people, but doesn't make a big deal out of it. So when he asks, where are all the Elon Musk cancer centers? Well, Elon doesn't actually directly fund cancer centers under his name. His Musk Foundation has, though, supported pediatric research and healthcare initiatives. For instance, in 2021, the Musk Foundation donated $55 million to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Which brings us to his next question. Where are the Elon Musk hospital wings?
Right. And so that's why you haven't seen a bunch of Elon hospital wings with his name on it, because he doesn't do it for the fame and attention.
And by the way, just in case you were wondering, because obviously you care about hospital wings and maybe you wanted to donate and get your name on one since it's so important to you, they usually run the gamut of about $5 to $10 million up to about $50 million. So Elon is somewhere in the 1 to 5 hospital wings donations worth amount. But since he doesn't have his name on them, maybe I guess you just don't care.
Where are all the Elon Musk food banks?
Well, in 2021, he pledged $1 million to Feeding America.
Okay, but where are all the Elon Musk educational grants and scholarships?
Through the Musk Foundation, he's donated millions to educational initiatives, such as the $7 million to Khan Academy in 2023 for free online education. And he's also put $137 million into the foundation, which is his nonprofit planning a STEM-focused K-12 school and university in Austin, Texas.
Oh, and don't forget Ad Astra, which is a school he launched in 2014 for his children and SpaceX employees' kids, which is now opening up to more and more kids in the public.
The next question. What disease eradication efforts does Elon Musk support?
Well, don't forget, during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, he leveraged Tesla's resources to address shortages of medical equipment such as ventilators, donating thousands of units globally. Also, don't forget that Musk runs Neuralink, which aims to revolutionize healthcare through brain-computer interfaces, potentially improving treatments of neurological conditions. And part of his $55 million donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in 2021 supported pediatric research, which includes efforts to combat childhood diseases. But how does Elon Musk use his vast wealth to help eradicate poverty?
Well, first of all, everyone loves to use his vast wealth because we're using his net worth.
He doesn't have $400 billion in the bank. He has stock in Tesla.
If he were to sell the stock in Tesla, then the value of Tesla would plummet by about 12 to 20%, while he would then have not quite as much money as his net worth, because as he was selling the shares, the value of Tesla would probably be plummeting way faster than that. He also then would lose all control of Tesla, which is something that he doesn't want to do.
But, he gave $1 million in 2023 to Give Directly, which provides cash grants to families in poverty. Elon, through his 6 companies, though, has directly created a total of 170,000 jobs worldwide. It's estimated that Elon's companies have created between 2,500 and 6,000 millionaires.
And it's not because they pay them so much money and these people are just the highest, swankiest people on earth. It's because Tesla and basically all of Elon's companies offer stock compensation plans.
Yep.
Meaning that the workers get to own the company that they work for. And when, say, Tesla does very, very well, the owner employees of the company suddenly become very, very rich.
Yes, but Jesse, how does Elon Musk use his vast wealth to help eradicate hunger?
Okay, it's a bit redundant because you already asked about the food banks. Again, the $1 million donation to Feeding America is the answer to the hunger question.
Okay, but how does Elon Musk use his vast wealth to improve access to healthcare?
Okay, I mean, again, another pretty redundant question, because I guess in your mind, it's the job of every billionaire to give to every known charity. Don't forget that Elon single-handedly founded Doge, which has, in just its first month, found enough government waste to fund basically whatever you want. Whatever you think is a good idea, he's found enough waste to make your dream a reality.
How does Elon Musk use his vast wealth to help underfed and underhoused children? Look, another question about hunger. Elon gave money to Feeding America. Interesting that you haven't asked any questions about Hurricane Helene and the fires in LA and Maui, where Elon gave tremendous resources, including Starlinks and Powerwalls, so that people could stay in touch and keep refrigerating their food, etc. Seems like you learned about that on our show, but then conveniently didn't want to bring that up, you f***ing hypocrite.
But how does Elon Musk use his vast wealth to help eradicate homelessness?
Well, Elon's found so much waste related to importing illegal aliens into this country, which maybe you're in favor of, but we haven't spent any of that money on our own veterans or homeless, which now we can. Why? Pretty much because of the work that Elon is doing with Doge.
To the tune of trillions of dollars. We basically created a homeless crisis, solved it, but only for illegal immigrants, but not for veterans.
Does Elon Musk have any philanthropic interests beyond his own wealth and security?
Long-term, human security does not exist without getting to Mars. A single asteroid hit will take out humanity. And so, yeah, getting to Mars is kind of the big one that everyone seems to think that, like, he's just accumulating wealth. Oh, it's to create a civilization on Mars that could potentially outlive the civilization on Earth if something, gosh forbid, happened to Earth.
But again, he has the Musk Foundation, which supports renewable energy, space exploration, pediatric health, and STEM education. In fact, you're maybe forgetting about his $100 million prize for carbon capture technology in 2020 and his donations to organizations like Oxfam, Doctors Without Borders, the Sierra Club. So don't forget all that. But of course, we got the final question here. Where are all the testimonies and stories of Elon Musk's generosity and kindness to others? Well, I'd like to point out a student, Ratcha Spotsville. She lives in Flint, Michigan, and she says, "It feels amazing to have clean water as an option now. I feel like I can actually drink from the water fountain and not have to worry about anything bad happening to me or my friends." Or how about the superintendent of schools there, Kevlin Jones, saying, "This means a lot. Water should not be something that we have to pay for. Water is a necessity of life. It should not be something we have to fight for." And that's because Elon quietly went in there to Flint, Michigan, gave money in water filtration to take care of the school's water problem. Where was the press? You didn't see it. We talked about it on the show, but mainstream media, silent.
Now, a lot of people want to just call Elon Musk a meanie bobini, but here you are asking questions, thinking these are all rhetorical questions where it's like, oh, I guess he's never donated any money. You're a moron. You didn't do 4 seconds of research?
Yeah.
You didn't think that Elon Musk would have done anything?
Try going to Grok.com for free and looking it up.
Try going to Google, you moron.
All right, so now to the tweets of the week. Nuke says, "Elon, you are supposed to be offline working on Grok until Grok-3 release. Just a reminder."
Elon said, "Oops, back to work I go. This was just too spicy not to post."
Secretary Sean Duffy says, "America deserves safe, state-of-the-art air travel, and President Trump has ordered that I deliver a new world-class air traffic control system that will be the envy of the world. To do that, I need advice from the brightest minds in America. I'm asking for help from any high-tech American developer or company that is willing to give back to our country. Tomorrow, members of Elon Musk's SpaceX team will be visiting the Air Traffic Control System Command Center in Virginia to get a first-hand look at the current system, learn what air traffic controllers like and dislike about their current tools, and envision how we can make a new, better, modern, and safer system.
And Elon said the safety of air travel is a nonpartisan matter. SpaceX engineers will help make air travel safer.
Elon then said, reasoning from first principles is a superpower. Elon went on to say, yes, there are far more eligible Social Security numbers than there are citizens in the USA. This might be the biggest fraud in history. What's super weird is that USGAO pointed out years ago that millions of dead people were tagged as alive by Social Security, but nothing was done. John LaFerver says, I was understanding of people who only got their news from New York Times and CNN or from trusting 60 Minutes and Meet the Press. They're well-intentioned, but unknowingly captured.
Elon said, yeah, at this point, anyone who believes them after they've been caught lying every day is just not very smart.
Inevitable West says, breaking, Vice President J.D. Vance, rating homes over insults online is Orwellian, and everyone in Europe and the U.S. must reject this lunacy.
And Elon said, absolutely. Throwing people in prison for memes or because they insulted a politician in Germany is madness. Clown world.
Elon said the real reason so many Democrats are upset about entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, etc., fraud investigations is that they are using your taxpayer money as handouts to attract and retain illegal immigrants, their future voters. That's what it's all about, truth. Senator Mike Lee says, as a U.S. Senator, I've tried repeatedly to get into Fort Knox. Fort Knox, you can't come to Fort Knox. Me. Why? It's a military installation. I'm a senator. I go to military bases all the time. You still can't come because you can't.
Elon said, who is confirming that the gold wasn't stolen from Fort Knox? Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. That gold is owned by the American public. We want to know if it's still there.
Elon posted looking for gold at Fort Knox, and it's gone. Elon said, this gold is the property of the American people. I sure hope it's still there. It would be cool for the public to see what so much gold looks like. It is theirs after all. Hopefully the storage facility has above zero style. A live stream of Fort Knox would be fire. John Levine says, please, nobody show this to Elon.
And Elon said, jackpot.
Elon said, I love the people. We just want to fix the waste and fraud that is bankrupting the country. The scrutiny on me is extreme, so it's not like I could get away with something, nor do I have any incentive to do so. David Sachs says, there are now Doge accounts for every government department, exposing the waste, fraud, and abuse. Awesome. Elon says, my rough estimate is that it's about 80% lack of competence and caring and about 20% fraud, but that's still a lot of fraud. Fraudsters complain the loudest when you take away their fraud. Fundamental to the scientific method is that the science is always subject to question and never settled. Upon re-examination, we will discover that, in some cases, long accepted scientific wisdom was wrong. Went on to say we should take the set of actions most likely to maximize the lifespan and scale of conscious. If it means solving governmental issues, then that's what we must do. That is the foundational logic to Doge. He went on to say, within a few years, almost no one will want a car without full self-driving. The most out-of-the-box thinking is realizing you're trapped in a box created by others. Only then can you escape the box to another box. Repeat. Aston posted, Hannity, you're going to help rescue 2 astronauts. Musk. They were left up there for political reasons. Now, this is the Danish astronaut Andreas Morgensen. He said, what a lie. And from someone who complains about lack of honesty from the mainstream media. Elon said, you are fully retarded. SpaceX could have brought them back several months ago. I offered this directly to the Biden administration and they refused. Return was pushed back for political reasons. Idiot. And then he said, the community note is false. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back last year, but Biden pushed the return past the inauguration date. Legacy media is not a reliable source. The price was never even discussed. They flatly refused. We would have made it work within the annual budget. The real issue is that they did not want positive press for someone who supported Trump. That's it. End of story. And this so-called commander doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Dude has no clue what's really going on. He's a passenger. And then Elon got his chainsaw for bureaucracy from President Milei of Argentina. And this is Elon speaking at CPAC.
I don't think you care about money, do you?
No, actually, I mean, listen, like if I steal some Social Security, I can finally buy nice things.
Yeah.
You know?
Elon posted, I am, become meme. Scott Kelly posted, I was the commander of the ISS when Andy flew his first space mission. He is one of the most competent, trustworthy, and honest people I've ever met. This rhetoric is beyond the pale, but sadly, not surprising. He does not deserve this kind of disrespect.
And Elon said, yes, he does. He's an idiot who publicly attacked me despite having no idea what actually happened. By the way, your brother claims to be independent, but is just a Dem donor shill.
And that's because Scott Kelly's brother is Mark Kelly, who's a senator. Elon said, every bleeding heart liberal I talked to about the Russia-Ukraine war wants to keep feeding bodies into the meat grinder forever. They have no plan for success. Superficial empathy, not real empathy. Aaron Levy says, raise your hand if you're working on AI tonight.
Elon said, last time I raised my hand, I got in trouble. But yeah, working on AI.
Elon said, consistent with President Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation.
Sadie posted, I never thought all it would take was an email to send the left off the deep end. If you can't handle the simple task, you clearly cannot do whatever job you're tasked with.
Elon said, to be clear, the bar is very low here. An email with some bullet points that makes any sense at all is acceptable. Should take less than 5 minutes to write. A large number of good responses have been received already. These are the people who should be considered for promotion. And he said the reason this matters is that a significant number of people who are supposed to be working for the government are doing so little work that they're not checking their email at all. In some cases, we believe non-existent people or the identities of dead people are being used to collect paychecks. In other words, there is outright fraud. Those who do not take this email seriously will soon be furthering their career elsewhere. Then he posted a poll. Should all federal employees be required to send a short email with some basic bullet points about what they accomplished last week? Zach at Black Model 3 posted, drove by an anti-Tesla Elon protest, so I asked some of the protesters about their signs. Not one of them could give an example of how exactly Elon is a Nazi or had any clue what they were talking about as usual. The response I got was, because he is. Someone had a sign that said, end the mandate, and she didn't know what the mandate was because there isn't any. Good for them exercising their First Amendment right, but at least know what you're talking about and back up your argument instead of blindly protesting.
Elon said, bizarre. I wonder who is organizing and funding these.
Adrian Dittman said, Elon's new profile picture, Grok's logo. And Elon said, we are on the event horizon of the singularity. He went on to say, we are increasingly optimistic that as the immense waste and fraud are eliminated from Social Security and Medicare, that there is potential to increase actual dollars received by citizens and better health care. And comment down below.
Go right ahead. I mean, look, everyone wants to be like, well, the fraud isn't as bad as Elon's making it out. I'm sorry, if he finds any fraud, and I get what he's doing right now, he's casting a wide net. He's pulling in the dead fish that are on the top of the pond.
Well, don't forget, you can go to doge.gov and see what they're finding.
So, and that's what I've been doing. And so I go, oh, wow, this looks horrible. Now, maybe not all of it is true. Maybe that there are 180-year-olds living around, or maybe it's true that we're not paying them. I don't know that, but I'm not going to listen to, we found some expert guy. We're going to call him an expert and say that Elon doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't trust that. I don't trust like that. I would like to see the accounting, and I'm sure that once we get down into the nitty-gritty, maybe we're going to find more or less fraud. I don't like any fraud in my government.
Yeah.
I pay taxes. You pay taxes.
I'm just wondering
why.
You
may not know that you pay taxes because you might have withholding if you're, a employee. And maybe you just think that the government's great because they give you a refund at the end of the year. No, you're paying taxes. We've been paying taxes for years, and we've been building up debt in our government to the tune of trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars.
I just want to know why up until now we haven't had an accounting that we can all easily look at.
Also, Bill Clinton fired
370,000 federal employees.
It seems
he was a Democrat.
And I would support him doing that again today if he were president. You can hate Elon Musk all you want, but just ask yourself the question, in what way is he a Nazi? Besides, I think he did a Nazi salute, because he didn't watch the whole clip. And what else? I've been asking people.
Oh, that he's stealing your Social Security.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first time that happens, I will eat my hat. I will find, we have a hat right here. I'll eat that hat if it's found that he's opened a credit card in somebody else's name.
I have some hot sauce that would go really nicely with your hat.
Excellent.
All right, everybody, it's time for Community Mail Time.
Community Mail Time.
Tanya spotted this ID buzz in Clearwater, Florida.
Sean had a nice evening at Freeman Park on Carolina Beach in North Carolina.
That looks fun. Miranda talked to the driver of this Rivian Amazon van. He said he really liked it.
Rick took his Cybertruck to the King of Hammers. Here's him charging in Hesperia, California.
Kathy spotted this pink Model Y. Whoa, that's pink.
Irvin spotted something interesting on this Tesla service vehicle.
Is it a plaid?
Yeah.
I gotta get to the scene quick. Max spotted this Rivian at the Supercharger in Tucson.
Emil got these pictures of the Cybertruck at the Orebro showroom in Sweden.
I love that reaction. Jason saw this Rivian R1T charging at the Clackamas Mall in Clackamas, Oregon. Are all the other chargers broken? Are they glowing red?
I couldn't tell. Jason said that they weren't glowing red. It's kind of the way the light looks. So I think that they just weren't charging, so they don't glow green like Electrify America chargers do in the middle of the night, and you're like, whoa, that is green. Mark just got his Cybertruck wrapped up in Nova Scotia. Congratulations, Mark.
Miranda stopped in at the Fife, Washington Delivery Center and spotted all these Cybertrucks. That's
Nice.
always fun to see a bunch of them there. What's that called again? Apocalypse?
Apocalypse.
An apocalypse of Cybertrucks. John found the new Model Y in Denver, Colorado.
Paul went for a Cybertruck test drive. Where's that?
Let me ask Grok. So this is at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. And
it's beautiful.
It's right. Grok is right. From that picture, it was able to determine where it was.
That's crazy.
Now, it is a famous hotel because it inspired The Shining.
Here's Johnny.
Crazy that from one picture, it knows everything about it. Thank you, Grok.
Thank you for sending in your stories. Remember, send them in to hello@nowyouknowchannel.com so we can get them on the air. All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews. Let's see what people have found out there in the world.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, coming to you live from the Marathon Airport here in the Florida Keys, about halfway down to Key West. I'm at the Marathon Airport where there are newly installed 11 stalls, 250 kilowatt capability. I was here a couple of months ago. There were only 4 stalls, and it was hard getting us by. Anyway, there's some facilities close by at the airport where you can get something to drink and go to the bathroom. Down the road, US 1, there's all kind of little restaurants and shops. And I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Now you know.
What's up, Zach and Jesse? We're here in Stevens Point at these brand new 250Ks. Super nice. We just seen a Rivian leave here. And we're at the grocery store. Definitely rating it a solid 7 out of 10. Have a good one, guys.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. This is Brian with a Supercharger review in Newburgh, Pennsylvania. It's located across from exit 201 off of I-76. Just look for the McKinney Station sign. The 8 V3 chargers are located in the back of the parking lot. While you're there, you can wait in the restaurant. The restaurant has kind of a fun decorating style and serves various kinds of sandwiches, salads, chicken wings, burgers, and ice cream. They have a single occupancy bathroom with a changing table. The bathroom is for customers only, so do them a favor and make a purchase in the restaurant when you visit. And when you're leaving, you can see just how close the station is to the turnpike. Video here is courtesy of the Tesla dash cam, of course. But I'm not getting back on the turnpike. I'm continuing south on 997 into Amish country. And you will notice signs like this when you go, so do pay attention to them. I found a photo online that shows that the station also caters to other forms of transportation. Now you know.
Hey, Zach and Jesse. I'm here at the Lucas Supercharger, the second site in the Ballarat region. This site is a version 310 stall, just opened recently. Facilities nearby, some weird thing that the locals call a petrol station here. Behind me we've got a Woolworths and a bunch of cafes, and further behind that we call it Macca's, McDonald's, as a nearby location. There's a lot of facilities in this area. I'd give this a 7 out of 10. Now you know.
Thank you so much for doing Supercharger reviews. We have them all up on our website, nowyouknowchannel.com. It's all on a map, so you can find where they are in the world, and you can watch all the reviews. You can also upload your own reviews, and I encourage you to do so.
All right, what about new Superchargers, Jesse? What do we got this week?
We got the 16 stall version 4 in York, UK.
We got number 94 in New Jersey, the 12 stall version 4, 325 kilowatt in Harrison, New Jersey.
We have an expansion from 12 to 20 stalls, version 3 and 4 in Malaga, Spain.
I've been there. The expansion from 8 to 20 Superchargers, V4s at Villaseca, Spain.
Number 48 in Colorado is the 8 stall version 4, 325 kilowatt in Kit Carson, Colorado.
Number 536 in California, the 12 stall version 4, 325 kilowatt in Kotati, California.
Number 14 in Malaysia is the 4 stall version 4 in Kuala Lumpur at Gardens Mall, Malaysia.
Number 180 in the United Kingdom is the 19 stall version 4 in Durham.
An expansion from 20 to 28 stalls, version 3 and 4 in Erfstadt, Germany.
An expansion from 4 to 12 stalls, version 3 and 4 in Lanniw, Germany.
An expansion from 10 to 16 stalls, version 3 and 4 in Hilposten, Germany.
Number 184 in Florida, the 16 stall version 4, 325 kilowatt in Tampa.
Number 112 in Australia is the 12 stall version 4 in Gosford, New South Wales.
Number 214 in France, the 8 stall version 4 in Bayonne, France.
Number 61 in Maryland is the the 12-stall version 4, 325 kilowatt in Bel Air.
Expansion from 12 to 24 stall V3 and 4s in Emsburen, Germany.
And number 53 in Nevada, number 2,564 in the United States, and 7,070 in the world is the 8-stall at Battle Mountain, Nevada. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the show. And I get it. There's a lot of longtime viewers of the show who are upset with Elon Musk because he went over and worked with Trump.
I just ask you to do one thing, which is I watch the mainstream media to see what's being told on that side, and I can't find any other source that's telling the truth other than limited sources on X. So I just ask that you try to find other sources for your news. I mean, go to ground news, try and think about it logically. You know that Elon's not a Nazi. If you're watching the show for any amount of time, he's a wonderful human being. We may not always agree with each other, but we don't have to call each other names when we don't agree. That's childish. And so if that's the kind of level that we've stooped to, that means that you know that that's not a real argument. If you have a real argument, great. But to say that he's stealing your social security numbers and that he's a Nazi, those just aren't real.
For instance, Elon wants to give $5,000 to every American as part of the Doge dividend, freedom dividend. I don't particularly love that idea. I would rather pay off the debt with it. Right. You know, but I don't think that he's a moron for suggesting it. I think that there are
These are policy discussions we can have.
I can go, I can understand that it's not inflationary compared to the other stimulus checks that we got from the government before, but we can have that discussion, and I don't have to call him a moron or an idiot.
If every
or a
time
Nazi.
Jesse and I disagreed, we called each other Nazis, we'd never get anything done.
So I just urge you can disagree with us. Please do.
But
have
please,
some thoughtful
when
arguments.
you give a comment down below, please cite where you got your information. Give us a link so that we can go check it out for ourselves and get smarter if there's something to get smarter from.
And there's been a bunch of different things that are trying to fact check Elon Musk. And I've gone through all of them, and most of them are not that compelling. Now, I could be swayed, but at this moment in time, you have this bunch of people who inexplicably have a ton of money, who worked for the government for a long time, and their salaries don't add up to the amount of money that they have. And I know that they've done, they sold books and they've done talking things, but still doesn't seem like enough money being brought in. So I go, there might be fraud. When you think that there might be fraud, I suggest that you investigate it.
You legally can't do a speaking engagement. So, that's what I'm saying. There's no way to make that money unless it was...
Right, you have to do that after you've been working for the public.
So, if you're mad at billionaires, I know that the rest of these crooks aren't billionaires yet, but they are multimillionaires, and it's off of us. So, be mad at them as well.
Just be honest with yourself. If you think that somehow Zach and I have changed at all, I'm sorry to tell you we have not.
We've done this show through, like we've talked about, multiple administrations, and we haven't told you who to vote for or anything like that.
And I've seen this before, okay? When the funding secured tweet was like, oh my gosh, I remember feeling horrible. I remember feeling like this was the end of Tesla, that Elon was going to go to jail. I thought that this was the end of everything. And do you know why I thought that? Because the media had me whipped up into a frenzy.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I'm seeing happen to people now, where they're being whipped up into a frenzy, saying the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. And I don't blame them, because I've seen where I have been before, where I've been whipped up into a frenzy. Just take a deep breath, think about it, really do a little bit more research.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Now you know.